Every single night, your brain turns into a movie studio. It builds entire worlds, tells crazy stories, all while you're fast asleep. We all dream, but what's really going on in there? Well, tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible science that happens the moment you close your eyes.
So, here's our roadmap. We'll start with what a dream even is. Then, compare it to being awake. After that, we'll dive right into the brain itself to see what's firing. We're going to bust a huge myth about when we dream, tackle 3 of the biggest unsolved mysteries, and finally ask that huge question: what is the point of all this?
Okay, first things first, let's just reframe how we think about dreaming. It's not just some random fuzzy noise your brain makes. No, scientists see it as this amazing natural experiment that our brain runs on itself every single night, in every single one of us.
This quote really nails it. I mean, just stop and think about this for a second. Your brain, with zero input from your eyes or your ears, can generate a complete immersive reality. It's proof that consciousness doesn't actually need the outside world to exist. That is just incredible.
And this isn't some rare, fleeting event either. On average, you spend about 2 hours every night living in these alternate realities. That adds up to a huge chunk of our lives spent in worlds built entirely inside our own heads. So, if we're spending all this time in the dream world, you gotta wonder, how different is it, really, from our waking life? Well, when you actually put the two states side by side, you realize just how unbelievably bizarre dreaming consciousness actually is.
I mean, the differences are just night and day, literally. When you're awake, you know who you are, you're in charge of your actions, logic makes sense, your memories stick. But in a dream, poof, self-awareness is gone. You're just a passenger along for the ride. Logic gets tossed out the window, and the whole thing just vanishes when you wake up. So why? Why does our brain make this crazy switch?
To figure that out, we have to look at the evidence. Neuroscientists can now actually peek inside a dreaming brain, and they treat it kind of like a crime scene to figure out what's causing all these weird effects. So let's see what they found.
Using amazing tools like PET scans, which basically light up active parts of the brain, researchers have been able to create a map of the dreaming brain. They can see exactly which areas are working overtime and which ones have totally clocked out for the night. And this map, it explains so much.
Okay, check this out. Your emotional centers, they are hyperactive. That's why dreams can feel so incredibly joyful or terrifying. Your visual cortex, also lit up like a Christmas tree, creating all those vivid hallucinatory images. But here's the kicker. The parts of your brain in charge of logic and rational decision-making, they're switched off. That's why dream plots make no sense. You're basically all emotion and vision with absolutely no rational filter.
All right, so for decades, scientists thought they knew exactly when all this was happening. But it turns out there was a major plot twist in the story of sleep science that completely changed the game.
You've probably heard this before, right? The classic theory was that we only dream during REM sleep. You know, that stage where your eyes are darting back and forth. It was thought to be the one and only dreaming state. The rest of sleep was just a mental void. Well, that theory has been totally, completely overturned. Sure, REM sleep is packed with dreams. But look at this. When scientists wake people up from non-REM sleep, they report having dreams almost 70% of the time. This is a massive game changer. It means dreaming isn't just happening in one special little window. It's happening pretty much all night long. Our minds are almost never truly switched off.
So this huge discovery just opened up a flood of new questions. And while we've learned so much, there are still some really fundamental mysteries about dreaming that scientists are trying to crack. Let's dig into the top 3 unsolved cases.
First off, why is the dreamy mind a closed loop? Seriously, think about it. A loud noise, a bright light, someone touching you in the real world, it almost never makes it into your dream. Your brain is generating this incredibly rich world while at the same time completely ignoring almost everything happening outside. So what's going on? Well, one idea is that a part of our brain called the thalamus acts like a gate, physically blocking outside signals from getting through. Another theory is that the internal movie we're creating is just so loud and intense that it drowns out anything from the real world. Or it could just be that the chemical cocktail in our sleeping brain literally isn't capable of processing outside info.
Okay, next up is the great mystery of dream amnesia. We've all been there. You have the most vivid, profound, insane dream of your life, and then minutes after you wake up, it's just gone. Why are dream memories so incredibly slippery?
Well, there are a few culprits. Remember that logical part of the brain that's turned off? Yeah. Turns out it's also critical for hitting the save button on memories, so that's a big problem. Also, our waking memories are anchored to things like time and place. Dreams are just floating. They have nothing to grab onto. The bottom line is, the sleeping brain's chemistry is amazing for creating worlds, but it's just awful for remembering them. And our final mystery really gets to the core of what a dream even is. Think of it like this. Is your dreaming mind a movie theater where you're just passively watching a film being played for you? Or is it a film studio where you are the writer, director, and special effects artist, creating the whole thing from scratch?
This final question brings us to the biggest one of all. What is the point? Why did our brains even evolve this bizarre nightly filmmaking habit in the first place? It's time to look at what the science says.
You know, the honest answer is there's no single settled verdict yet. Some scientists think dreaming helps us lock in memories, like filing away the day's events. Others believe it's a way to process difficult emotions in a safe space. Some say it's just mental housekeeping, while others even argue that dreams have no real function at all. They're just a side effect of our brain being active during sleep. But let's go back to that last mystery. Are we watching a movie or making it? Because the answer tells us a lot. Being awake is like watching the news live. Information flows from the outside in. That's bottom-up perception. But dreaming is the opposite. The ideas and concepts start inside your head, and your brain builds the world out from there. That's top-down imagination.
And this is really where the science is pointing. More and more evidence suggests that dreaming is a top-down process. It feels like we're seeing things, but what's really happening is that we are imagining them with incredible intensity.
And that leads to this beautiful, powerful idea. The movie isn't just being shown to you, you are the projector. Dreaming might just be the most raw, unfiltered, and creative form of imagination that we possess. So that leaves us with just one final thought. The next time you lie down to go to sleep, remember, you're not just shutting down for the night. Your brain is getting ready to premiere its next big feature. The only question is, what movie will it create for you tonight?